Life in a world that keeps changing. Think that it's progress you're making. Copy and paste pretty faces all the time. Pictures so perfect we play.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Anointed Lady TV, the home of news and politics. If it is your first time in this channel, you are highly welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you like what we do on this channel, hit on the subscribe button. Also put on the notification bell so you'll be notified by YouTube anytime we drop a new video. And if you are returning subscribers, thank you very much for always coming back to watch our videos. On this platform, we drop videos every day and we react to every video that come our way. And on this very video, I will be watching with you. And after watching, let's go to the comment section and drop our opinion constructively. Like our videos and also share our videos if possible. See you next time in my next.
Joining me now is Dr. Yunusa Salisu Tanko. He's the Obi Dati Presidential Chief Spokesperson with the Labour Party. Welcome to Politics HQ, Dr. Tanko. Thank you for joining me. So let's start this conversation with a look at what's going on currently. So the case that your presidential candidate Peter Obi and the party have against President Bola Tinubu's electoral victory is still in front of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. So this urging that the national chairman, Julius Abure, is giving to party members in order to have them ready for this supposed presidential rerun that's coming. Can you tell us where that's coming from?
Okay, if you are referring to the statement being made by the national chairman of the Labour Party, Barrister Julius Abure, on the clarion call to prepare our members for a rerun, well, that is not out of a place. It is actually a preparation towards what we are seeking for in the court of law. Remember, we have our prayers lined up to about 5 of these particular prayers. 1, that we should be declared outright winner. 2, there should be declaration that that particular candidate of the APC did not qualify to run for the election of the 2015, or February 25th, 2015 general election. And that 3, that in the case that the court did not answer our first and second prayer, it should at least call for a rerun of that election generally, because it did not meet the threshold and the requirement of the general election that Inec itself, based on the provisions of the law, made for the Nigerian people. And so therefore, that election should be cancelled, null and void, and then we should go for a rerun to establish who is qualified to run for the election, and then eventually we'll have a declared winner. This is a position of the political party, and then we are asking all of our members nationwide to prepare for that particular circumstances with the prayers that the judges and the judicial court will do justice to the case in court, because we believe that actually the judiciary is the last hope of the common man, and then our judiciary have the last chance of making sure that they put the right wrong, so that every Nigerian will be happy with our electionary system, and at least, not for anything, protect our democratic system.
All right. So in his comments to Labour Party members and supporters in the diaspora, the national chairman said that the party had received information that President Bola Tinubu's All Progressive Congress-led government was also getting ready for a rerun. So in terms of what it looks like, in terms of the APC getting set for a rerun, the party that is already now in power, still rather maintaining power here in Nigeria, and setting up for what would be a worst-case scenario in all ramifications for the party. What do you make of that?
Well, you know, they too are following the activities of the judiciary, and then they know what is going on in the court of petition tribunal. And I'm sure they also know that there are 2 of us who are challenging that particular case, Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, and then Peter Obi of the Labour Party. And we have provided damning evidence to show that those particular elections did not meet the threshold that is required, and that the candidate of the APC, who for us we believe is just hanging in there, we can also see that probably he's sitting on a half stool, or hoping that until when the judiciary make an affirmation on its position, that is when you cannot say that, yes, this particular election is done and dusted. Don't forget, this case is a marathon race and it can go all the hog. But we are prepared to ensure and that we prepare for the election in case the judiciary is able to find its feet and courageous enough to actually do what is expected. You know, we have a situation in our hands. Many people come in and say that, no, it is not possible. The judiciary cannot overturn the election. It has never been done in Nigeria. We can't have that. Where every situation has its own calling. When the Kenyan tribunal overturned the election, nobody thought it was going to happen. When it was done in Malawi, nobody thought it was going to happen. So what happened if it happens in Nigeria? At least for once, that means that we are trying to do something right. So we expect our judiciary to do what is right, not to follow a particular pattern of saying that we are following technicalities in trying to avert the danger of saying probably the office holder is being put into questioning and all. But the question that we want them to look into is the fact that what about the far-reaching damages that is already been instilled in the minds of the Nigerian youth who came in from far and wide to vote for the election and hoping that the real winner of the election will be declared? What about those aged persons who came out in large number to ensure that they vote for the right person, that the election will be made clear, credible, free, and fair? What about the hope that the Independent Electoral Commission has given to the Nigerian people, especially the Nigerian people and the international community, that this election will be held free and fair? And that is the reason why, when you saw the European Union giving its damning report, which I say they have been economical with the fact, because there are far damning issues that really resonated with that election. And don't forget, the Situation Room also made that particular revelation. Not also forgetting that the NDI, National Democratic Institute, make reference to that particular fact. And also the International Republican Institute also alluded that the election was not credible. So you see, there are about 4 reports. It's not that people are only alluding to the European Union report as if it's the only report. No, there are other reports that gave a very, very strong recommendation that indicates that that election was a sham election and it does not represent the interests of the Nigerian people. And that, for the fact, should have been repeated or should have been cancelled long even before now.
All right. So, Dr. Tanko, in some of your comments right now, you've used some words that have been quite interesting, because there have been a number of statements attributed to members of the party that have been floating around. You talked about the real winner, the real person who should be in place, the right person who should be in place. And in terms of statements, we've seen that there are those who are accusing the party of using statements to potentially call for chaos. Now, in this instance, I'm referring to the factional National Publicity Secretary of the party, Ayobami Arabambi, who has been on television and has accused Peter Obi, as well as the leader of the social-political group Afenifere, Pa Ayo Adebanjo, of treason and plots to create chaos and also overthrow President Bola Tinubu's government. Now, he in particular also mentioned that the two have been using the party's name to perpetrate acts of treason and create the impression that the party members are planning to make Nigeria ungovernable. And basically, this is because we heard Pa Adebanjo speaking about the fact that he does not yet recognize President Tinubu as president, also something that Peter Obi himself has said. In terms of these statements being weighty enough to be termed treason, Dr. Tanko, how do you respond to those allegations?
Let me say, first of all, for purpose of correction, we do not have factional publicity secretary. We have only one publicity secretary, and the publicity secretary of the Labour Party is Mr. Obiora, as we stand today. And we have one national chairman, Julius Abure. But you see, sometimes we make these issues and give room for those who do not have any record for them to make statements in the public domain, and then it will be held for public discussion, which of course I find very, very demeaning to the level of the politics in which we have found ourselves. For the simple fact, I think Peter Obi, as of today, should be a celebrated hero of our time. Peter Obi should be celebrated by every Nigerian that is living. You know why? Because Peter Obi has been able to stand tall to challenge the establishment in the wrongs that we as Nigerians try to cover up. How long can we continue to cover up when in an election, you and I and every Nigerian saw how certain ethnic groups were being profiled and being denied to vote? We saw how votes were being carted away and being destroyed at ballot boxes. We saw how election materials did not even get to their destination. You and I saw this particular thing happening. We saw in this particular Nigeria, in a country called Nigeria, how the electoral umpire was not able to declare a result of election that took place on 3 elections that took place on the same time, denying the most important one being denied from being upheld as a result of uploaded in the Viva. And then here we are, an electoral umpire who makes his own rules. Now, even in the court of law, the same electoral umpire is denying his own rule that it makes. Come on. And we are saying that probably that election was credible and it represents the interests of the Nigerian people. Oh, no. And with regard to Pa Ayo Adebanjo, Pa Ayo Adebanjo is a Nobel Nigerian who has represented this country credibly well. Don't forget, that gentleman is a lawyer, perfected lawyer. He has served this country with merit, and he makes his statement based on facts that he knows. So Pa Ayo Adebanjo is a Nigerian of exceptional quality and who is well-grounded and well-knowledgeable. And so how do you expect a well-knowledgeable Nigerian of that nature cannot stand tall and make a statement of his own belief, what he believes, and then you deny him and you tell him probably is conducting a reasonable offense? Come on. That, for those who are making that particular allegation, those are the people that I think need to be re-examined, because I don't think they know the position of the law as regard to every individual for his making his freedom of speech as regard to what he seems his right has been impugned upon. As regard to Peter Obi, he has followed the right rules and regulation of the law by going to the court. He has not mobilized, which he has the capacity to do. He has not mobilized his members to be on the street or even railroad or stampede on the courts. He still followed the rules and regulations. He did not direct his members to stampede on Inec offices. He continues to tell them to calm down, that they should follow the judicial provisions of the law. That is a gentleman of perfection. That is a Democrat of repute. That is a Democrat who have shown that he believes in the right process of this particular country. And so therefore he must be supposed to be upheld and be raised high and be carried along, that these are people of impeccable character. Okay. And with regard to the issue of what Peter Obi has done on a continuous basis, he has continued to say that the processes that brought this particular president into power is flawed and wrong. And so therefore that particular process must be clean. He said, he who seeks for equity must come with clean hands. And if you want to be called an excellency, you must come through an excellent process. This is a simple thing that he has said. Remember,
so Dr. Tanko,
Peter Obi has allocated results. Yes, please.
I need to ask, because the national chairman has said that the party is ready to take this all the way to the Supreme Court. So let's play a game. I know you'll probably be reluctant, but let's play a 50-50 game. Let's say that this makes it all the way to the Supreme Court, and we have the country's highest court judging this matter at the end of the day, and for some reason the Labour Party and Peter Obi lose. You are saying that Peter Obi is a man that follows the due process and follows rules and regulations. Is the party, as well as Peter Obi, ready to take whatever comes if this matter makes it to the Supreme Court?
When we get to that bridge, we will know how to cross it. I can assure you that Peter Obi is a true Democrat and he will follow rules and regulations of the law. And because he is a true Democrat, he follows rules, and that's why he's in court and he's ready to follow all the... Do you know the enormous pressure that is on this particular gentleman to withdraw his case? Because he's interested in following the rules and regulations, you ask him to go to court, and we all join together and go to court. What does that become a problem? We're already in court and we are fighting our case according to the provision of the law. Why do you have a problem with that? Why do you have to use fake media report in order to say that probably we've withdrawn our case? Why do you have to use intimidation? Why do you have to use security apparatus in order to intimidate Peter Obi or any one of us? Remember, there's a point in time in which even when he traveled outside the country, he was almost hacked down to say, you are not going back to the country. Some even advised him to leave that particular country just because he's trying to put Nigeria on the right path, which majority of our leaders have refused to do. How long can we continue to sweep the truth under the carpet? And you expect him to work in Nigeria? It won't work.
Okay.
So until when we start putting the rules and regulation on the pedestal of this Nigerian contest, that is when we start getting it right. And don't forget that democracy is the rule of law. It only triumphs only under the rule of law. So allow this rule of law to triumph. We are not saying anything more than this.
So, Dr. Tanko, I want to move on from that point, but also to something Arabambi did say. And even though you're saying that there's no faction within the party and you have only one national chairman as well as only one national publicity secretary, in an interview, he did describe Peter Obi as a nominal presidential candidate. I'm quoting his words now. He also said, and I quote, he does not have the authority of the party to begin to undermine the status of Mr. President. That's the end of the quote. When it comes to what Peter Obi is to the Labour Party, let's get into that, because there are those who see him as a flagstaff, a rallying figure, but not necessarily a national leader of the Labour Party. So a nominal president, a leader of the party, what is Peter Obi to the Labour Party?
What is the definition of nominal? That means you are not full. For a candidate who won 12 states, even more than still counting as allocated, is a nominal president or a candidate. For a candidate who have won in a political party that is relatively unknown, has won 8 Senate seats of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for a candidate who won 38 Federal House of Representatives in the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for a candidate who won 64 still counting, State Assembly in the states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I think it's laughable. For anybody who does not even have any particular facts to present to the Nigerian people, to call Peter Obi a factional leader. I think Peter Obi is a credible and most acceptable, very solid, in fact, a gargantuous member of the Labour Party who has brought stardom to the Labour Party. And the Labour Party should be grateful for the presence of Peter Obi in the Labour Party. And for that particular individual himself, who is making this particular allegation, he should be counting his gods for giving him opportunity to have a Peter Obi contesting for election. If there was no Peter Obi, where would Arabambi have made those particular allegations?
Okay.
Who would he made it against? It is because Peter Obi is so popular and he's bringing in a lot of credibility to the system, and a lot of them are scared of the outcome of the right thing to be done. That is why many of these particular individuals are now coming forward. So he goes into the trade and make popularity of himself by only mentioning Peter Obi. Where would he have been if Peter Obi was not there?
An interesting question, maybe one we can get Mr. Arabambi to answer. But I want to move away from that now. So the Labour Party's showing at the presidential election is something that is being studied and will continue to be studied by historians and even Nigerian political scientists. Now, let's say that there is a rerun presidential election. Do you think that the Labour Party can do what it did before and even surpass that and win a rerun presidential election if that was to hold today, right now?
It may amaze you to know that many of the facts that Nigerians don't even know before, they are knowing them now. And so they are rejigging themselves to even fight for the Nigerian people. I am speaking to you right now in the ancient city of Zaria. In Zaria, it's in Kaduna State. I was just moving along, and on my hands is the ribbon of the Peter Obi campaign organization. And I saw one in a woman's hand. And I was asking her, how did she get it? Where did she get it? She said, yes, sir. We are very, very hopeful. We are still getting ready in case they decide to annul the elections. So you can see the Nigerian people are actually informed and getting ready in case they have the right to rekindle and reestablish that their mandate. And this will also interest you to know Various looks and Kenny of this country who did not know Peter Obi now are knowing him more. And they are determined that this is the right person to have been in that particular seat or been announced credibly. No, we're not begging, but credibly to be in that seat as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that, of course, we will continue to pursue according to the dictates of the law.
Okay. So my final question to you before I have to let you go because of time. As you mentioned, of course, we've agreed, and while it's in courts, the party did not get the presidency as it hoped, but there is a court case at the tribunal on that. But Labour did walk away with a governor in Alex Otti, as well as several seats in the National Assembly. What kind of opposition will Labour provide in the National Assembly? What should we even expect from Alex Otti in order for him to do things differently from the political parties that are governing other states, whether it's the APC or the PDP? If we are selling this message, if you are selling this message to Nigerians that the Labour Party is different and is going to do things differently, what then should Nigerians expect of those who found their way to the National Assembly, as well as Alex Otti, who has found himself as governor?
Please, for those of us who are not well grounded on the manifestos of the Labour Party vis-a-vis the manifesto of Peter Obi and all others, they should please take a look at the manifesto of the Labour Party. It is online, Labour Party manifesto online. Please go through it. It represents, the Labour Party represents a social democrat. Remember, the party is actually being owned by the Nigerian Labour Congress and the TUC. And also it represents the interests of the Nigerian people, masses base. And the Nigerian labor movement and the Nigerian Labour Party is interested in emancipating the Nigerian people and creating a middle class. As we speak today, we don't have middle class in Nigeria. It's either you are poor to the extreme or you have stolen the country's wealth to the point of stupor. These are the two dividing lines. And in the middle, there is nobody to continue to hold firm onto the political stand and then the economic of this country. And so Labour Party and the Labour movement is interested in creating a middle class where the poor people of Nigeria who have been held down against their own will can come up to live a reasonable life. And so those who have stolen the country,
So then should we expect legislation and bills that are pushing forward this agenda, as you said, from those who are representing the Labour Party in National Assembly?
Yes, because you should expect bills that will be passed in. In here, I will mention there are very reputable, well-grounded members of the Federal House of Representatives like Seyi Shawumi and Mr. Dennis Agbo and the rest of them who have been in our meetings, and they're already well-grounded and know exactly what the Labour Party wants for the Nigerian people. And we are going to listen to the people. We're not going to tell them what we want to do only, because the product of the manifesto is a product of a conglomerate of the Nigerian Labour Congress, which comprises of the ASU, Pengasin, Teachers Association. Every working class of the Nigerian people belong to that particular organization called the Nigerian Labour Movement. And those are the people who drafted the manifestos. And here I must also mention that Peter Obi took cue from that particular manifestos and formulated his own manifesto called New Nigeria is Possible, citing Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as a cardinal point to ensure that we mobilize this country to an economic hub that will change our dynasty from consumption to production, and also subsidizing production for the interest of the Nigerian people.
I need to sneak this in because there are those who are worried about those who may have used the Labour Party's very popular platform ahead of the elections to get into power, possibly at the National Assembly, and who may cross the carpet and leave the party behind. Dr. Tanko, do you have the concerns? Does the Labour Party have concerns of those who might want to cross the carpets when they reach, as they have now entered into the 10th National Assembly?
We want to appreciate the Electoral Act, which gave it a room, at least legally, to make sure that those who are already winning election under a political party will remain within that particular election. And it is also our hope that those who come in through the obedient movement and the Labour Party and the euphoria of Peter Obi will stick thin. So we're still very, very strong with this particular movement, because it will be a catastrophic mistake if any one of them fell below the line, because I will assure you that there are people who are willing and waiting to take over where they've stopped from. And in fact, as we speak, a lot of people are joining the political party in large numbers because, you see, we have only one country, and that is called Nigeria. And we must work hard to ensure that Nigeria works as a nation. And that, of course, starts with what we are intending to do for the people of this country.
All right, so we'll end the conversation there. Dr. Tanko, always a pleasure to have you. Obi Dati, Presidential Chief Spokesman for the Labour Party. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, good day, my brothers and sisters, my mommies and my daddies over there. Is your sister again, your doctor, your friend, your girl, Anointed Lady TV. Please, if today is your first time of coming across my YouTube channel, please do subscribe for me. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell. So each time I upload any video, you will be notified. So in this my channel, I will be bringing up many things to you in which you will benefit from it. I do talk show, I do news, anything you want to talk about, I am into it. Please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. So each time I upload any video or each time I'm on live on YouTube, you will be notified. Thank you very much for always being there for me. Please do subscribe for me, and as you do so, God will richly bless you and meet your heart desire. Thank you very much. I love you all. Ladies and gentlemen, good day, my brothers and sisters, my mommies and my daddies over there. Is your sister again, your doctor, your friend, your girl, Anointed Lady TV. Please, if today is your first time of coming across my YouTube channel, please do subscribe for me. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell. So each time I upload any video, you will be notified. So in this my channel, I will be bringing up many things to you in which you will benefit from it. I do talk show, I do news, anything you want to talk about, I am into it. Please subscribe and turn on the notification bell. So each time I upload any video or each time I'm on live on YouTube, you will be notified. Thank you very much for always being there for me. Please do subscribe for me, and as you do so, God will richly bless you and meet your heart desire. Thank you very much. I love you all.